Well, the initial 53-man roster has been set, and the Detroit Lions have 0 kickers. Let's Talk Lions. Welcome back to an all-new episode here at Let's Talk Lions. My name is Jay. Thanks for hanging out. Guys, we are like 10 subs away from 4K. That's insane to me. 1 year in, we have made some serious progress. So this Saturday, September 4th, 11 a.m., we're going to have a 1-year birthday party live stream. We'll chat it up about the initial 53-man roster, really everything we've seen transpire over the last year. So join me at 11 this Saturday. So the 53-man roster has been set, the initial 53-man roster. And as I said, we don't have any kickers. Last year, I'm pretty sure I cried myself to sleep when we got rid of Prater. It's just a tough time. You know how Green Bay has had a good quarterback for like 30 years? Well, in the same way, the Lions have had a phenomenal kicker for the last X amount of years. Jason Hanson, Matt Prater. Like, we've just had it so good when it comes to kickers. Well, we obviously get rid of Matt Prater. We bring in Randy Bullock, Wright, and Gonzalez. All of these guys have been dismissed, you could say. So the Lions are flying without a kicker at this point. Obviously, we're looking at the waivers. Tell you what, not where I really wanted to be. It's kind of an odd place to say who's gonna kick the ball. We just going for 2 every time. That would be quite the strategy. Moving on, we have the quarterbacks. Obviously, Jared Goff, David Blau, Tim Boyle. Nothing changes there. Tim Boyle does have a broken thumb. I think it's suspected that he'll be out 6 weeks. So, yeah, looking at backup, David Blau wins the job by default. Really nothing to see there. Goff, keep healthy. That's all we need. The running backs list is as follows. You have DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, Jamar Jefferson, Godwin Igwebuike, and Jason Kabinda as our fullback. I mean, we knew it would be Swift and Swaggy as 1 and 2. I love that combo. Swift coming into his second year. We saw what he was able to do as a rookie. He just really elevated his game week after week. Really excited to see him and Jamal Williams as a 1-2 tandem. Jamar Jefferson really did a great job proving himself throughout training camp and preseason. Really excited to see what he can do as RB3. Then you got Godwin Igwebuike, who was a safety. He was a DB. Coach moves him over, quite frankly. You kind of see what he was able to do in these preseason games against Pittsburgh, against Indy. I love what the guy has done. He did play running back in high school, but here at the NFL level, first time he has played running back since high school. As a whole, though, Lions fans, we are all pretty upset about the Craig Reynolds release. He is the type of guy who could come back to the practice squad, takes that time, develops. Maybe we see him next year, later this year, somebody gets injured. Quite frankly, I would love to pick up Reynolds and place him on the practice squad. Now let's talk about our fated wide receivers. I'm really worried about the wide receiver room. I mean, you have Tyrell Williams, who was the anticipated wide receiver 1 from the start, but then you have the inexperience of Amon-Ra St. Brown. He has shown glimpses and flashes of greatness, of potential greatness, but he is inexperienced. This is his first year. That can be a little dicey. You have the speed coming from Khalif Raymond. Everything I saw from him, even while at training camp, is really excellent. I love his separation, his quick feet, his ball skills as a whole. Really a superb pickup for us. However, again, then you're looking at Quintus Cephas. It's his second year. Trinity Benson, a guy that we know very little bit about other than, yeah, he's had a phenomenal preseason in Denver. And then you've got Tom Kennedy. Tom Kennedy, a fan favorite as well. He has been putting in the grind since 2019. Really excited to see him on this active roster at the wide receiver 6 spot. However, inexperienced once again. This is where I propose that the Detroit Lions should look to sign wide receiver John Brown, or Smoke Brown as he is affectionately known. He played with Buffalo. I've watched him a ton. The guy is actually incredible. His speed, his separation as well. Smoke Brown would be a huge asset. He's been in the league for 6-7 years, I do believe. Best season was with Buffalo, where he had 72 catches, 1,060 yards. Like, the guy is a great wide receiver. The Bills had to cut him simply because of money, and when you look at their wide receiver room with Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs, they had to get rid of him, so they end up getting rid of him. He goes to Oakland or Vegas. I'm surprised they didn't keep him. I would love to pick up Smoke Brown. Bring him here. From there, we got our tight ends, TJ Hogginson and Darren Fells. I mean, Hogginson is going to see the most targets. We know that coming into this year. Then you just have Darren Fells, a veteran, experienced, however, only 2 tight ends. Now, granted, we do have 2 guys on the injured reserved list at this point. Those guys being Tama Payout and Hunter Bryant. So these 2 guys on the reserve list. However, I'm just going to say it for what it is. If Hogginson goes down, if Hogginson gets injured, we are in some trouble at this point based on our wide receiver core and based on the fact that our tight ends are Hockenson and Fells. So this is an area that I am a little worried about as a safety precaution. You need a little bit of depth there. If we got 2 guys on the reserve list, they're not phenomenal. I look at the tight ends position as, with Hockenson, huge threat, incredible threat, love him to death. If he gets hurt, we in trouble. From there, we got our O-line, beginning with Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, Vaitai, Jackson, Sewell, Evan Brown, Stenberg, and Nelson. Between all of these guys, listen, our O-line is arguably, or not so arguably, the best position group on the Detroit Lions coming into the 2021 season. They really are. You look at the O-line, they're a top 15 O-line, just stepping back. However, they have the potential to be top 5. They have the potential to be one of the best in the league. It's gonna take time, though. From what we've seen with Sewell at the right tackle position, there's gonna be a huge learning curve for our guy. But there is a ton of good to come from him and from this O-line in general. These guys are going to be able to buy Goff time, buy our wide receivers time. Yes, our wide receiver core may be mediocre, but shoot, if the O-line can buy them time, allow the plays to develop properly, that is what we need. And I really do believe that's what we're going to be given from this O-line. From there, you got the D-line made up of Michael Brockers, Aleem McNeil, Levi Onwuzurike, Nick Williams, Deshaun Hand, Kevin Strong, and John Penisini. Between all these guys, I'm really excited. Yes, there is some youth mixed with veteran. Always. I love the word veteranship. Come on, dictionary.com. Just put it in there for me. You've got your experienced vets and you've got your youth here. Really looking at it, Michael Brockers, huge addition for the Lions in the locker room, but on the field as well. I love Brockers. He is questionable for week 1 at this point. Sounds like he's going to be ready to go. But Michael Brockers leading this D-line, man, I am really expecting to put pressure on the quarterback for the first time in years. Literally, it's been like 2 years since I've seen us really apply some solid pressure. I'm pretty sure Kirk Cousins last year pulled out his phone and just shot a quick text to his mother and just, I don't know, just snapped the ball and... It's good sound effects. Should probably be a sound effects guy. Super excited to see the development of guys like Onwuzurike, Aleem McNeil, violent young guys up front that can really put the pressure on. Moving on, we've got our linebacker core. Here we've got Romeo Okwara, Trey Flowers, Julian Okwara, Jamie Collins, Austin Bryant, Harris, Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Reeves Maben, and Anthony Pittman. Now look, linebackers were rough last year. I'm talking just like sandpaper rough. It was bad. However, Tavai has been waived. I'm sorry for him as a person, but thank God for the Lions. It needed to happen. That was a big move. And there's a lot of potential in this position group. We saw what Romeo Okwara was capable of last year. We're seeing what Julian Okwara is capable of in these preseason games. Trey Flowers, there is less pressure on him now as a stand-up linebacker compared to being on the line in Matt Patricia's defense. I look at Flowers, there's less pressure of like, I gotta be the guy. Now with the additions of Michael Brockers, pulling Okwara off to the side as well as an edge rusher, I really look at this and there's excitement in the linebacker core. Yeah, it's a little dicey. However, there's a lot of good that can come from it. Really, I just want to see Jamie Collins not headbutt a ref this year, I think, in the opening game. Lastly, we got our cornerbacks and safeties, beginning with Okudah, Oruwariye, AJ Parker, Ife Melifonwu, Bobby Price, Jerry Jacobs, Tracy Walker, Dean Marlowe, Will Harris, and CJ Moore. Look, it's a big year for Jeff Okudah. This is a huge year. It could arguably be said this is really kind of like his rookie year all over again, based on the fire that he was thrown into with terrible coaching, with the groin injury, no preseason, being tossed in there against Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay week 2. Like, this could arguably be said to be, it's kind of like your rookie year, but not really. Like, we all know it's your second year, but it kind of feels like it based off of everything that transpired last year. I want to see the guy develop, and I think he will under Aubrey Pleasant. Having a good coach going to change the game for him. So much so that you look at his leadership after seeing 1 year in the NFL with a guy like Jerry Jacobs. Jerry Jacobs has taken to Okudah. He has put in the work, put his head down, gleaned as much as he could from Okudah. I love that. Definitely bummed about Mike Ford getting cut. AJ Parker just beat him outright. I was expecting Mike Ford to be the starting nickel corner. He is not. AJ Parker came in and lit it up. Specifically, you look at his performance against Pittsburgh in the preseason game. That was huge. We saw a lot of flashes of greatness coming from him. The pressures he was able to put up. The run defense that he provided. All in all, AJ Parker, really love what we're seeing from him. Taking a step back, when I look at this 2021 roster, what I really see is there is a lot of youth mixed with some vets. There is experience at the top, youth at the bottom, and there's kind of limbo land in between in the middle, like an Oreo. Just the double stuff. Friggin' cream on cream on cream. I mean, you look at our draft picks, you have young guys, these yearlings like Aleem McNeil, like Onwuzurike, mixed with a guy like Brockers, an experienced vet, all working together on the line. You have your vet, you've got your yearlings, the young, the old colliding together. Not a lot of in between, so it is going to be interesting. And I do love that. I love seeing it, especially as it's a rebuild or a retool, whatever you want to call it. That's huge to have these guys that are winners, that have the winning mentality, that have played for a while, they have the experience, and they can raise up these young guys to be the future for the Lions. There's a ton of potential. This year is going to be all about growth and development. Am excited to see as it all starts to unfold, develop. Super excited for week 1 against San Fran. All in all, yeah, I'm a little worried about the wide receiver core. However, again, if I can take that step back, if you could take that step back and look and say, I'm here to watch the development of these young guys, see what the vets can teach them, this coaching staff, what can we do for the future? That's where it's at. So that is it for today. That's the 53-man roster breakdown. How do you guys feel about it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know. You excited? Who you bummed? Who you bummed that got cut? Who you excited that stayed? Drop it in the comments. And until next time, I will catch you later, either on an episode here or when we sign a kicker to kick the ball. I was never like a vanilla Oreo guy. I couldn't get behind the mint ones. Just like the classic Oreo. Now, don't get me wrong. Classic Oreo's great. Double stuff. That's where it is. It's been a while since I've had an Oreo. Man, I could go for one. I know I gotta go. I gotta run to the grocery store today. Is that what I'm getting? Nah.